Imagine that, in a single moment, the familiar world around us simply ceases to exist, and the planet itself knocks the ground out from under our feet. In the absolute silence of space, our globe, which has been spinning for billions of years, suddenly freezes in place. This is not just a catastrophe. It is an instantaneous end to everything we have built, because physics knows no mercy for those who have forgotten its laws.
Let us begin our amazing and slightly terrifying journey into a world where Earth has decided to take a rest from its eternal run. Right now, as you listen to these words, you are rushing through cosmic space at a tremendous speed. At the equator, this speed is more than 1,600 kilometers per hour. We do not notice this because we are spinning along with the planet, its oceans, and its entire atmosphere, like passengers in a gigantic, very smooth train. But what will happen if this train suddenly slams on the brakes? The solid ground itself, the mountains and continents, will stop in a single second. Yet everything on it will continue to fly by inertia. Inertia is that very force that pushes you forward when a bus brakes sharply. Only on the scale of an entire planet, this jolt will become devastating. All houses, skyscrapers, ancient forests, cars, and billions of people will fly eastward in an instant at a wild speed. It will look like a gigantic catapult blast. The speed of this flight will exceed 1,500 kilometers per hour. To help you understand the scale, the most powerful hurricanes in our memory accelerated the wind to only 300 kilometers per hour. And here, the force of the wind will be 5 times greater. Such an aerial strike will instantly erase even the strongest concrete buildings from the face of the Earth. Cities will turn into piles of debris that will fly over the surface, sweeping away everything in their path. Trees will be torn out by the roots, and rocks will simply crack and turn to dust.
The Earth's atmosphere, our protective air dome, will not stop immediately either. Huge masses of air will continue to move, turning into one continuous supersonic hurricane. This wind will be so strong that the friction against the planet's surface will ignite colossal forest fires. All the land will burst into flames like dry grass from a match. Even if someone managed to hide in the deepest and most secure bunker, the terrible roar and insane air pressure outside would leave no chance. The Earth's crust will experience an incredible shock from such a sharp breaking. Throughout the planet, earthquakes of a magnitude humanity has never seen before will begin simultaneously. Huge cracks will run across the continents, and volcanoes that have slept for millions of years will wake up and begin spewing billions of tons of red-hot lava and black ash into the sky.
But the most incredible and eerie sight will begin in the oceans. Water has a huge mass, and it is even harder to stop than air. Colossal water walls several kilometers high will rise from the ocean depths and crash onto the coasts. These mega tsunamis will pass through entire continents, washing away the remains of cities and mountains. Imagine a wave that easily steps over the Ural Mountains or completely floods vast plains. The water will churn and foam, turning the land into a continuous boiling cauldron of mud, rocks, and the debris of civilization.
When this first horror subsides, a long process of reshaping the entire geography of our planet will begin. Right now, the Earth is not a perfect sphere. Due to its constant rotation, it is slightly flattened at the poles and bulges at the equator. Centrifugal force holds huge masses of water precisely around the equator, creating a kind of water belt there. But when the rotation stops, this force will disappear. Nothing will hold the water in the middle of the planet anymore. The oceans will begin to slowly but surely drain toward where gravity is closer to the center of the Earth, that is, to the North and South Poles.
This great migration of water will completely change the map of the world. In the north and in the south, 2 gigantic oceans will form. They will flood vast territories. All of Canada, the northern part of Europe, almost all of Russia, and huge expanses of America will completely disappear underwater. In the south, the ocean will swallow Antarctica, the southern parts of Africa, and Australia. But at the equator, the opposite process will occur. The water will leave there completely. Where the waves of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans used to rage, the seabed will be exposed. A single, continuous, gigantic supercontinent will stretch around the entire planet. It will be a colossal landmass separating two world oceans. Mountains that were previously hidden under a multi-kilometer thickness of water will become new peaks, and deep ocean trenches will turn into dry and gloomy canyons.
But the changes will not stop there, because the most important thing will change: the change of day and night. Right now, our day lasts 24 hours because the Earth manages to make one revolution around its axis. If the planet freezes, one revolution will still take place, but no longer around its axis, but around the Sun. This means that one earthly day will become equal to one earthly year. 365 days of normal time will now turn into one gigantic day and one endless night. For half a year, an unsetting sun will shine on one side of the planet, and for the other half of the year, pitch darkness and piercing cosmic cold will reign over the other side.
Let us virtually transfer to the side that remained turned toward our star. Here, the sun will never set below the horizon again. It will slowly, over the course of months, rise to the zenith and scorch with all its might. Without the familiar change of day and night, the temperature on the daytime side will begin to rise rapidly. Soon it will exceed 100 degrees Celsius. The water in small reservoirs that still remain in this territory will literally begin to boil. The Earth will turn into a boundless desert, cracked from the heat. The sand will heat up so much that lead could be melted on it. Any life on the surface will become impossible. The atmosphere here will be dry and hot, as if inside a gigantic oven.
Now, let us take a flight to the opposite side, into the zone of eternal night. Here, the sun will never appear. As soon as the last rays hide behind the horizon, heat will begin to quickly escape into outer space. The temperature will drop to -50 and then to -100 degrees Celsius. All water vapor in the air will instantly freeze, and incredible snowfalls will hit the dead Earth. The oceans on the night side will be covered with a multi-meter layer of ice. This will be a kingdom of permafrost, silence, and darkness, where the only source of light will be the distant and cold stars. Liquid water will disappear here, turning into granite ice blocks.
And what will happen to the atmosphere in such a divided world? Due to the wild temperature difference between the burning and freezing sides, a global movement of air masses will begin. Hot air from the daytime side will rise up and rush to the night side, while cold and heavy air from there will crawl along the bottom back. On the border of light and shadow, which scientists call the Terminator, eternal, unceasing storms will brew. This will be a narrow strip around the planet where the weather will go crazy. Constant hurricane-force winds will blow there, incredible thunderstorms will roar, and tons of freezing rain and snow will pour down. It is this twilight zone that will become the only place where the temperature could theoretically be comfortable for humans, because that is where the hellish heat and cosmic cold will meet. However, surviving there will be incredibly difficult, and here is why. Our Earth has an invisible but vital shield, a magnetic field. It is created because a liquid iron core spins inside the planet. This movement works like a huge electrical generator. The magnetic field protects us from dangerous solar radiation and cosmic rays that fly from distant stars. If the Earth stops, the movement in its depths will also gradually die down. The magnetic shield will weaken or disappear entirely.
Without this protection, the deadly radiation of the sun will reach the surface unimpeded. The solar wind will begin to bombard our atmosphere, literally blowing it away into open space like fluff from a dandelion. Radiation will destroy even those bacteria that could adapt to heat or cold. The surface of the planet will become completely sterile and radioactive, resembling present-day Mars.
Will humanity be able to save itself in such conditions? Directly on the surface? Definitely not. We would have to radically change our entire way of life. The people of the future would have to move deep underground, building huge bunker cities in abandoned mines or carving them into the thickness of solid rocks in the twilight zone. There, under the protection of hundreds of meters of granite, one could hide from cosmic radiation and terrible temperature swings. Energy for life would have to be extracted from the heat of the Earth itself by building geothermal stations, since the sun would no longer be a reliable helper. Food would have to be grown in completely closed underground greenhouses under artificial lighting, saving every drop of precious water.
The oceans at the poles would also become different. Due to the lack of rotation, the currents we are used to, such as the Gulf Stream, would stop in them. The water there would become salty, heavy, and stagnant, and life in it would practically die out. The Earth would turn into a ghost planet, half icy, half scorched, with a thin strip of eternal storm in the middle. This would be a harsh and alien world in which it is difficult to recognize our green and blooming home.
This hypothetical catastrophe shows us how wonderfully and finely tuned our planet is. Every movement of the Earth, every degree of its tilt, and every second of its rotation create those very ideal conditions in which we can go to school, rejoice in the morning sun, and watch beautiful evening sunsets. The planet's rotation is not just an astronomical fact, it is a real motor of life that mixes the air, distributes heat, and keeps the oceans in their places.
Space is full of mysteries and harsh laws, and our Earth is a tiny, fragile oasis in the boundless emptiness. We must appreciate and protect this amazing spaceship on which we are lucky enough to fly through the universe. Every little thing, from a light breeze to the change of seasons, is the greatest gift of nature. Thank you for walking through this exciting virtual journey with me. If you liked our scientific experiment today, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new cosmic secrets. Write in the comments which fact amazed you the most and whether you could live a whole year if a day lasted so long. Your support helps us move forward and discover new riddles of the universe. Stay with us, and until next time,